Hi, welcome back to Cheyenne Wyoming Urban Gardener. And I'm doing this video because I was asked whether or not we have started decorating for Christmas. And that was by Suburban Homesteader Wyoming/Arizona. And this is our mantle that is in our living room of the old Victorian house. If you don't know and you haven't seen any of the prior videos, our Victorian house was built in 1883 by the family of William Sturgis, and it was actually just him. At that time, he was a cattle baron who had came from New York and built this house, and then really didn't keep the house for very long. A couple of years after he built the house, he lost all of the cattle, which was about 2.5 million head, in a really bad winter in 1887. So once the house was finished, he only had it a couple of years he lived in it. And then he also lost an infant daughter after he had gotten married and moved into the house. She only lived a couple of years, and she was 2 years old when she passed away, and she's actually buried in a cemetery pretty close to the house. And as you can hear, I'm still recovering from having RSV that we got confirmed. But anyway, this is the mantle in the living room, and as you can see, we just decorated up pretty. My grandson has his little rocking horse there, and then we have all of our stockings. The very large stocking was one of the stockings he had when he was about a year old. So he has actually gotten a smaller stocking at this point, but we just go ahead and put that one up anyway because it is pretty, and that's the one on the left. And then we have stockings for our family as well as for our dogs. You can see one of my dogs walking around right now, and they do know their stockings. So it's pretty funny that we do put up stockings for the dogs, but we do. And then we, of course, decorate the whole mantle. I'm still working on the mantle right now because we have more decorations this year than what we have space for. My kids like to decorate ornaments every single year for Christmas, and they just keep accumulating. And that little puff ball cone that you can see right here is my daughter's contribution this year. And then my grandson really enjoys Toy Story, and we found these little glittery Toy Story silhouettes this year at Menards, so he picked those up. So he has a couple of Toy Story. You can see Buzz Lightyear, and he calls it Pizza Planet, and a couple of the other little figures, characters, whatever, from Toy Story on there. And then we have this really old ornament that is my partner's that we always set on the mantle, and it's just a porcelain set of Santa Claus with presents and things like that on there. And then when we have another Toy Story silhouette glittery tree right here, you can see the figures on the tag. We haven't taken the tags off yet. And he really loves nutcrackers, so we got him a nutcracker this year. It has a little bell in its hand. We found that at Hobby Lobby. And then this little nativity scene that you can see right here is really small. As you can see, it's next to these two. That came from Germany, and it was by one of my foreign exchange students because I've hosted foreign exchange students in the past. And that came from Germany, and it just has a little nativity scene in it. And you can actually move those little pieces out of the block of wood so they stand alone as well. So we have that, and then just some little odds and ends for the rest of Christmas that we'll be cleaning up here in a little bit once we get the mantle all settled. But we have a couple of new stockings this year because I have a new step granddaughter that has joined the family. So we have those. This is going to be my grandson's stocking this year, the cowboy boot, because he really loves Woody from Toy Story. So he has the cowboy boot hanging there. And then we found all of these little stocking holders from Goodwill. I had bought a new pack last year, which is these with the bows on them. But then we picked up these at the Goodwill earlier today. So we have all of these stocking holders. And honestly, we still need a couple of more. We have more family now than we have stocking holders and stockings for. This is actually my daughter's stocking. It looks like a mermaid's tail. And still plenty more to do. And I found these fireplace screens at the Goodwill as well. So really loved it. It's got scroll work and a little saying with some plates on it. Really loved that. So I picked that up from the Goodwill last year, I think it was, for like $6 or something. And that's where I also got this little wooden horse. And it has the yarn mane and tail. And I think I got that for like $3 or something like that. And of course, then we have the Christmas tree. And here is the Christmas tree this year. Every year, our tree looks a little bit different because we just have so many different ornaments. And this year, I found some ribbon at the Goodwill that I wanted to go ahead and wrap around the tree. We've seen the ribbons on the trees for a while now, and I kind of like that. As well as we have the Shiny Bright garland, but I don't think this is the Shiny Bright garland. Kind of looks like it, but it's really, really pretty. And we picked that up. You can see that little beaded garland right there. It wraps all the way around the tree. And then, of course, the ribbon that we picked up at the Goodwill. And then we have some of the Shiny Bright ornaments on the tree as well. These are really, really old ornaments. In fact, my partner's not even sure how old they are. He's in his 70s, and he's had these from his grandparents since he was a little kid, and they had them long before him. So there's those ornaments here, and we've got one here, and there are a couple more here and there, but those are the Shiny Bright original ornaments. Really, really old, and each year, unfortunately, one or two of them gets broken just being in storage because they are just so delicate. But we managed to pick up some other ornaments that kind of look like those in different places, and that's like the red and white one there. And then we've got nutcracker ornaments. We've got handmade ornaments, like I said, every year. My kids like to make handmade ornaments as well. It's just a fun time for everybody. So we have some of those on the tree. And then we pick up an owl ornament that represents my partner's work. He is a CEO of 2 companies, and one of those has a mascot of being an owl. So we found that owl and added it to the collection. Here's one of the handmade ornaments you can see here. And there is another one here. Those are some of the handmade ornaments that we've done. And then there's just little ornaments from all over the place. Some of them may be from Argentina, in the German side of Argentina, because that was one of my partner's ex-wives, to be honest. There's another handmade ornament here. But there we have so many ornaments at this point. There's just not enough tree for ornaments to be on. And there's one of the poodle ornaments. We've got like 3 of those. We need to add one more because we have 4 toy poodles. And they get their own ornaments as well. Samantha, you forgot your unicorn ornament, and it has to fit on there. So we get a new ornament every year, as well as making new ornaments. So they just keep kind of accumulating, and we've toyed around with the idea of possibly getting another tree. Here's one of the newer ornaments. This is this year's, and we just thought it was hilarious because it's Bring More Cowbell from the Saturday Night Live skit of More Cowbell with Christopher Walken and Will Ferrell. And that's my ornament. That's my daughter's ornament. And then, of course, we have like little snowflakes. And here's another one that I really liked. I'm an artist, so sometimes I get a little weird with stuff. So as you can see there, it's like a kind of a peacock-colored just tentacle ornament, my daughter calls it. But that's one of my ornaments. And just all kinds of wild stuff. We've got ornaments that represent birthdays. My birthday's in June, so here's one of the ornaments for that. And then my daughter really likes the hippie wagons, we call them, or hippie buses. Those are from the 60s, the Euro vans. So there's that, and more handmade ornaments here. My daughter really likes, my other daughter really loves Van Gogh. So she has one to represent cherry blossoms. That was one of his paintings. So she has that there. And then there's Starry, Starry Night somewhere through here that she has done.
They'll put it on his.
Oh, here it is. That is my grandson's tree. So we have a smaller tree behind the big tree This is my grandson's tree, and we just had to put new lights on it because the old lights had to get some lights taken out to put into another one. So ended up having to put new lights on it. And this is his little tree with all of his little ornaments, a lot of which were handmade and donated to him for one of his first Christmas here. You see, that's one of his ornaments I had engraved for him from a very special little Christmas store here in downtown. And that was a few years ago, and it has now closed down. So that little ornament was embroidered for him, or I guess wood engraved for him. And it took a couple of weeks for it to come back. It was quite an expensive little ornament. But his little ornaments all over. He loves school buses. So he got a little school bus ornament. And then he got to add a bunch of ornaments that we couldn't fit on the other tree this year, which he was just so tickled about. So that's his little tree. It's about 2.5, 3 feet tall. And it sits in a little vase, or vase, whichever one. And then, of course, we have little decorations in the windows as well. Just some candle ornaments and reindeer, Santa Claus, and another candle ornament over here. And then he has 2 little train sets that we were going to set up this year. He kind of got in trouble with them, and we've kind of squelched that idea because he actually got into the boxes and kind of ripped them up before we even got them open. So his punishment was that he doesn't get those train sets this year unless he becomes a really good boy. So he really loves the Grinch. He's watched the Grinch over and over and over for 2 Christmases now. And so we found this little train set, I think at Walmart, of the Grinch Express. So he's got that, and then he has another train set. Behind that is the 49er Special, and it's a larger train, and he's just looking forward to that. So I hope that he is a good boy so he can do that this year. But anyway, that is the decorations that are going on, and we have some blow-up and ornaments or outside yard decor that we're going to be putting out in the yard pretty soon. And there's a little bird nest in the tree. Always got to have a bird nest in the tree. Anyway, let me stand back so you can see the tree in all of its glory. It's really pretty. So it's kind of a mix of traditional and more modern this year. And my daughter had picked up this, she calls it an Outlander tree skirt, because it's a tartan with a fur edge all around it. And that was because she was working at Ross last year, and she picked it up for basically pennies on the dollar. So just beautiful little things that we do all around the house for decoration. And the tree is just absolutely loaded with ornaments, but it's absolutely gorgeous this year. So anyway, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell for notices on new videos as they come out. And I know this was not a gardening video, but Suburban Homesteader Wyoming, this one is for you because you asked to see what we do for decor in this big Victorian house, and that's what we do, and we're still working on it. And we have been sick, so it's kind of gotten postponed, and we just now finished decorating the tree. So we'll see where it goes from there, and we'll see you in the next video.